Mulligans and Hackers podcast, episode 3. I'm Chris.
I'm Alvin.
And we have a special guest today joining us.
I'm Isaac.
The third member of our crew finally shows up.
The golf expert, if you will. The guys brought me on. They said, you know the most, so come on and talk about golf.
We're in trouble.
Yeah. No, that is not the case. I put hackers in Mulligans and Hackers, that's for sure.
Initially I thought you were going to be the behind-the-scenes guy. Your last message to me about whose ass you got to kiss to get on this podcast. Yeah, well, you did it, and here you are.
I'm here. Thank you for having me, fellas. This is great.
Well, anytime. Hopefully you'll become a regular occurrence on here with us.
If you don't bitch too much about not being on.
So, Isaac, let's learn a little bit about you. How is it that you got into the game of golf?
So it was just going with my dad as a kid. It was, I always wanted to get out there, and I think I had the same issue that everybody else has. When you first start playing, you kind of hate the game quite a bit. When you don't know how to swing a club, and
you're watching on TV and you make it look so easy, and then now you're standing over the ball, and that doesn't work at all.
100%.
Yeah,
right. So I went through quite a long period of kind of having this hate for the game, and maybe playing 1 or 2 times a year. As a social get together, but now I'm starting to get a little more serious into it as I'm getting a little bit older and playing with friends and playing with you guys and the crew.
How many games did you play last year?
Oh, last year not a lot, maybe 3 rounds last year.
See, me and Chris played a ton last year, and that's where this idea came from. Was we played so much last year, and we had a blast doing it, and we cycled some people in through that we knew we would golf with again this year. And that's where the idea came from. Was we played a lot of golf and had a blast last year, so we thought we'd do something like this year and have someone like you come out. How many times have you been out this year already?
7.
So 7.
Yeah, 7
so there you
this
are,
year.
more times
100%
than you did last year, right?
Yeah.
Already. And I know a bunch of the other guys we golf with has been out probably more times than they got out all of last year already.
Yeah.
And that's just because we're having fun with this.
Golf's always easier when you got a group to golf with.
That's true.
100%.
It's always funner to go out, right? I mean, nobody wants to go out and golf just by themselves.
And it's always nice to golf with people of your caliber.
Absolutely.
100%.
Nobody likes to go out there and get their butt kicked every week.
And have some good laughs and good conversation with good friends, and
yes.
You couldn't ask for more. So
we had 11 guys go to Rolling Hills this past weekend, and all those guys fit in really well with our crew, personality-wise and score-wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
It was good. So, do you have any specific goals or things you want to try and achieve this year while participating in the Mulligans and Hackers Golf Tour?
Yeah, 100%. I think my biggest goal is just to gain some consistency in my game. I've been working on my swing this year. My biggest thing in my game is just I can hit the ball far. I can hit the ball well at times, but it's the lack of consistency and just getting out more and just like I said, going with a great group of guys is my main goal of the year. Just to have a ton of fun and enjoy the beautiful Southern Alberta summer. I
played with you in one tournament so far this year. We were in the same group. What group did we play in? Did we play in a group this year?
No,
I don't think you guys have.
I watched you make some shots. Oh, was that the driving range?
And then we went out as the 4 of us with Chris the one night.
Oh yes, we did. First round of the year. You're right. You're right.
Some of your shots.
It wasn't a tour event, but we got out.
And some of your shots were really good. It's just there's a few that get you out of position and really challenges you for the next approach shot. For sure. But I mean, some of your drives were really good, and then some of your second shots were really good. So, but I think the more you play, the more you'll start to get that nailed down a little more.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
right? 100%.
And it's a lot of the stuff that takes a lot more to play, like the chipping and the putting, the touchy-feely stuff. You have to play more rounds.
The finesse part of the game.
Yeah.
We all need work on the finesse part of the game.
That seems to be the only part of my game that's working right now. So, do you have any favorite players currently in the PGA or that you grew up watching?
Golf?
I to be honest with you, I don't watch a ton. A little bit. I pick it up.
I can't believe you don't watch the LPGA because everybody that likes golf watches the LPGA because that is the best league to watch. Not because I'm being a misogynist for all you woke people out there, but it's really fun to watch the ladies play.
Let's look at the LPGA the last few years and Brooke Henderson, right? Like how exciting is that as a Canadian?
And she's already won once this year.
Yeah, and I mean so tuning into that has been a lot of fun. To be totally honest with you, though, I'm more of a highlight follower than a regular watcher of the game. But no, I do enjoy watching the big tournaments, especially the Masters and that sort of thing.
Well, that's good. That's part of the reason that we all got into golf is, you know, we grow up watching it on TV, whether it be the highlights of Tiger or Rory or Phil.
I think we talked about that in the past episode.
Yeah.
I used to watch it on Saturdays when I was a kid because it was the only time they would put it on TV.
Yep.
And I mean, when I was a kid, it was a long time ago. So
don't age yourself now.
Nick Price, he was my favorite golfer when I was young because you didn't get to see him. Like, you didn't get to see the 4 rounds on TV. You got to see the Sunday final. That was it. On some sports channel on cable, right? And I would watch it every now and then, and I thought, this looks great. There's skill here.
Yeah.
Right?
And they make it look easy, right?
Yeah.
And I think we all dreamed of going to the golf course and showing up and playing like Tiger Woods, right?
When was the first time you picked up a club?
I would say probably around 10, 12.
Okay.
Would probably
I was
be
in
around
my
the first
mid-teens, and I had already watched a bit of golf, and the first time I picked up a club, I realized very quickly that, this isn't as easy as they make it look on TV, because that ball's really small.
It's a game you'll never perfect.
Oh.
That's what makes it so fun and yet so challenging and creates that love-hate relationship we all have with the game.
Yes, the love-hate relationship.
Some days more than others, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been a few weeks since our last pod. We've put in 2 tour events in that time. So let's give a little bit of a recap. First tour event we did was last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. Again on our home course at Cottonwood. The weather conditions were
less than amicable.
Let's just say they were awful.
Which really showed in the attendance of that event.
Not only the attendance, but the scoring.
Yeah,
the scoring was. The scoring was pretty weak on that day. That was Darren's first event with us. First event he was able to make out, and he ended up winning.
And he ended up winning because we all shot so poorly.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't...
I had 4 layers of clothes on, and I really couldn't turn my shoulders, so I was really at a disadvantage the entire 18.
It was a rough round. I mean, I think the winning score was plus 20.
Yeah,
which I mean is in 86 on our home course, and that's not going to win you a tour day. You're usually going to have to be in those low 80s, high 70s to have a chance at winning. But it was rainy. There was some on and off showers. It was a little windy because we did move the tour date from Saturday to Sunday, which in hindsight might not have been the best of ideas, but
you're welcome.
We'll go with it. So Darren picked up a win. I do believe that the Chris M and Chris C tied in second place, 2 strokes back. Alvin finished third, solo 4th, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And then Clark finished 5th. So that was a lesser turnout. And then this past Saturday, we all got together and we went out and visited one of our favorite golf courses in southern Alberta, Rolling Hills Golf and Country Club. And we had an absolute blast. We had 11 people attend. 3 drove down from Calgary, the rest of us from the Hat. So how did you guys enjoy your round on Saturday?
I loved it. Well, I loved it because I won.
Yeah. Well, Alvin, the first 2-time winner on the tour already.
Yeah. So 5 events.
4 events.
4 events, and I got 2 victories.
Yeah.
You guys need to pick up your game.
You're at a 50% winning percentage here.
I don't think I'm the best golfer in the group, so somebody needs to pick up the slack here and post some good scores.
How about you, Isaac? How was your round? I think that was your second event or third event?
That was my second tournament event.
Okay.
It was great. I loved it. I mean, the highlight of my golf event was the hot dog at the turn. But no, it was great. It was a beautiful day to be out. We couldn't have asked for a nicer day.
I agree. It was beautiful.
Absolutely.
The course was great. Great little track.
Have you
very
golfed there
affordable.
before?
I've never played there before. It was challenging. It was way more challenging than I had anticipated.
And what was
going
the most
into
challenging part about it?
The greens. The greens I found the toughest part.
For me, the most challenging part was the trees.
Oh,
There's trees everywhere.
Strategic positioning of the trees.
Yeah.
But the greens were slow, though.
Yes.
Like, really slow. And to the point of, they were challenging because they were very slow.
Yeah,
just tough to get a grasp on, I found, right? And I found everybody was kind of in that same boat of, it was hard to find a rhythm compared to what we were used to, but I think that added to a lot of the fun of it, too.
Well, that made it very even field, right? Because not one of us had played there this year. So it was, nobody had any advantage over anybody else because we were all stepping on that golf course for the first time this year. all in the same boat, and it was just a matter of who could go out there and rein it in the quickest. And
that was me.
It happened to be Alvin that day.
Although I was 10 over for the first 6 holes, like I was really playing poorly, not well. But then I parred out 9 and got myself back to bogey golf, which I like to play. And then I went 6 over on the back.
Well, yeah, you ended up at in first. You finished with an 81, which is plus 15 out there. And
because it's par 33 for 9.
Yes.
So if you play 18-6, which is exactly the same score as our Cottonwood.
As Cottonwood, except it has two. You essentially have 2 par 5s if you play Rolling Hills twice.
Right.
Whereas our Cottonwood only has 1 par.
Correct.
So Alvin finished in first with an 81. Darren was second with an 83. Chris M finished in third with an 86. Clark followed up in fourth with an 88. So Alvin's group of Alvin, Darren, and Clark rounded out 3 of the top 4 spots. Then we had...
That's why I had him in my group.
Then we had Chris C, and myself, and Dave C tying at plus 30 for 5th, which was definitely not one of my best days. It was a rough day on the course, but...
I must say, it was really nice to see you finish down that far, from my point of view anyway. I really enjoyed that placement of down the leaderboard.
Come on now, I still haven't won a tournament event yet.
Yeah, I know. So this is, we're 4 in, and you haven't, what's the highest you finished?
Second,
yeah.
Yeah, I finished second, third.
Are you starting to feel the pressure now?
No. No. I finished second, third, and 5th so far. Or second, third, and 5th.
Okay.
So not terrible. I mean, I'm not up and down where I'm first and then 7th or 8th.
No, that's right.
Kind of riding it out.
I do think as we go on and you don't win,
the pressure will build.
The pressure will build
Absolutely.
for you to get a victory.
Yep.
You'll pull out the old Brooks Koepka here and I need to win.
Yeah. So finishing in solo 7th was my cousin Jake, who came down from Calgary. That was only his, I think, 3rd round of the year. And he shot a 98, a plus 32. He had some really good shots, and then other holes were not so great.
So the shot I remember of Jake's the most was on the second 9, so 18.
Yep.
When we were all standing off to the side. We wanted to be the gallery, so the 2 groups in front of you finished.
Yep.
So we were standing, and Dave and Trey were sitting in their cart, and Isaac and Chris was sitting in their cart, and me and Darren were standing there, and we were just chatting. Without even a 4, a ball comes screaming in, bounces off the roof of Isaac and Chris's cart, and goes into the parking lot.
So funny story. So we followed Isaac and Chris's group the entire time because we were the 3rd group out, and we were walking. You guys were karting. So on hole number 3, which is a really short par 3, the first 9, my dad hit a ball and it went directly at those guys on the 4th tee box and almost hit one of them. And then the second time around, my dad did the same thing, didn't quite get to him. And then Jake hit a ball, and it landed like almost right beside Isaac or Chris. It was hilarious.
Rolling Hills almost came to a tragic end.
It was on 18. Yeah, that ball was coming in hot, and it hit the golf cart. And I think maybe McKeon probably needed to change his underwear after that one, because everybody was like, "What was that?" And I think it was Dave Comstock said, "That was a golf ball." Holy smokes!
Just making sure everybody was awake by then. Then we had Isaac tied with my dad for 8th at plus 35. And then my brother Josh finished in 10th at plus 41. And then Trey finished in the bottom at plus 49. But we know those guys still had a great time despite finishing in the bottom, and I'm sure they'll be back out to play again. I know that I'm going to go back to Rolling Hills for sure at some point this year to play another round.
I'm going to take the family out there to Rolling Hills.
Absolutely. No, it's great. And, going back to the score, I think I'm the only guy who can get 2 birdies on a course and still shoot 102.
That is rather impressive.
Oh my goodness.
That is true. I did see that on your scorecard.
That is throwing it up there. Like,
yeah.
So there are good shots in your arsenal.
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of 4 putts there, and that's the problem.
Well, I think that's one thing that the more you play, you're just naturally going to get better, and you're going to shave strokes like crazy. That's going to probably shave 7 to 10 strokes off your game once you get comfortable with a flat stick, because that's going to, if you're not 4 putting, even if you're 3 putting instead of 4 or 5 putting, you're going to shave strokes like crazy. And the more comfortable you get, the more strokes you shave off the green, the better for your score in the long run. I think by the end of the year, you're going to be putting together some really nice rounds, and you're going to surprise yourself.
Yeah. No, that's
Hopefully
the
not
goal.
too good for the final tournament of the year. So
Well, hopefully it's just in time, really.
that's when you peak.
Exactly.
You hope that's when the game
Exactly.
peaks.
So after 4 events played, let's look at the updated Mulligans and Hackers race for the Season Cup standings. In first place, we got this guy over here, Alvin, with 2 event wins, 3,350 points in 4 events played. In second place, we have Chris M with 1 event win, also tied, actually, technically with Alvin, but he's in second because he only has 1 event win.
Yes.
He also
That's
has
the
3,350 points in 4 events played. In third, somehow, I don't know how, I am sitting in third with 0 event wins with 3,100 points in 4 events played. In fifth, we have Clark, who has 2,650 points, no event wins in 4 events played. And then we have Dave C at 2,100 points. And then Darren, who has an event win, but he's at 1,900 points strictly because he's only played 2 events.
2 events.
So he's down the board a bit. Then we have Isaac at 1,200 points in 3 events.
Picking up points.
Yep. Chris B at 1,150 in 3 events. Josh M at 700 in 3 events. Jacob at 400 points in 1 event. And Trey at 300 points in 2 events.
So just to recap, I might have missed it in the first episode, glance over it, but can we go over some of the scoring guidelines for how we come up with those numbers?
Absolutely. So essentially what happens is we run a points total for, so if you finish first, you get 1,000 points. If you finish second, you get 900. Third gets 8. Fourth gets 7. Fifth gets 6. Seventh gets 5. And so on, down to the minimum amount of points you can get is 100 points. So once we get down to that number where you're at 100 points, the rest of the field from there on down just get 100 points. That way it's imperative if you want to gain traction on the field to finish ahead of those in front of you, but it also allows you to not fall too far back if you're playing the events to still have an opportunity to try and catch the guys.
So what happens when they tie?
When you tie, we take, so let's say there's a tie for first. We take the 1,000 points for first and we take the 900 points for second. We put them together to make 1,900. And we split them in half for 950 a guy. And then that's how we do it. Typically, we haven't had a tie for first yet. We've had a couple ties for second. We've had 1 or 2 ties for third. It's usually down the board more that we see those ties. But that's typically how we do it, just to keep it clean and fair and safe that way for everybody. And so far, it's worked out really good. I mean, having it at 1,000 points for a win keeps it as a nice round number. It's easy for me to keep the scoreboard up to date. Doesn't get crazy with large numbers up there, which is nice. And it gives us our nice little race for the Season Cup standings. Progresses us towards our year-end tournament, which is where our eventual goal is to get to. Hopefully, when we get there, we'll have our games in order, one way or another, for all of us. And we can play, whether or not we win, we can play the best golf that we're capable of playing and see what happens on that particular day.
And it's nice having the point system to keep... It adds that little fun element, right?
A little bit of pressure, right?
A little bit of pressure, a little bit of fun,
But even
razzing the guys a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
even
good.
coming up with the schedule that we put out. We golf with a lot of people anyways, and it just gives everybody, they know that's an event day. So if you're going to go out and play around the golf, go out that day because all of our buddies are going to be out there.
Yep, absolutely. And
all the people we want to hang out with are going to be at the golf course that day, so we're going to go to the golf course that day, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, and it's actually been really nice because the last 2 events, the one before Rolling Hills, actually came down to literally the last hole.
Last hole, yeah.
For who is going to win. If I'm not mistaken, I think Alvin and Chris both took triple bogeys on 18 to fall out of first place.
To totally fall out.
And virtually gift Darren the game. Darren and I both shot bogey on 18, and by that time I was a couple strokes too far back. I needed a birdie to win that one, but these guys had a chance, and they promptly put up some sixes.
I think we went, both me and Chris both went OB on our tee shots.
Ooh.
I do believe that's correct.
Yeah, and we had to take a drop, and that didn't go well. That was sideways from there on out.
And then, at Rolling Hills, Alvin sent a text from his group at the turn, just because it's more for Chris M than anything, because he's a guy that he's like, I don't want to know, I don't want the pressure. But it's like, no, we're gonna give you the pressure. You gotta know, buddy.
Okay, so what clubs are you using?
Nike across the board. Everything in my bag is Nike.
Boo.
How long you had them?
I've had them for, I would say, probably 6 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, Nike SQ Mach Speeds is what I'm hitting.
So you really like them?
I do. I love them actually.
Because I don't think Nike makes clubs anymore.
They don't. No, they don't. So
they're a collector's
I also kind of like having that as a little bit of a throwback collector's item kind of thing.
I'm
But
glad Nike doesn't make clubs anymore. I'm glad. I wish Nike would. No, never mind. I'm not going to say it out loud here on the podcast.
It's kind of interesting though because Isaac uses Nikes, you use Wilsons, I use Mizunos, Chris uses TaylorMades. We got a wide verse of different clubs.
I think Darren uses Loco.
Yeah, Darren uses Locos.
So for all the sponsors listening,
Yeah.
bring it on. We got you covered somewhere.
Right?
I've been hammering Wilson's staff for a while, but I think I'm really down on their noticing poll there.
It might be too amateur yet.
I am too amateur.
You got up your
doesn't mean
game.
I'm not going to wear their hat or use their gloves.
You got up your game to Gary Woodland level.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I did get my putter regripped. I put a Super Stroke Traxion on my Tommy Armour model 706 Silver Scott. Yeah, that thing looks different.
It looks pretty sweet, but what did Bob tell you before you regripped it?
Bob told me that it was a collector's item, probably worth money, and I'm like, don't worry about it. Just put this grip on it. I need something new here. I don't even know how old it is. Like I pulled it out of the garbage pile last year, but it works for me.
Yeah. So how many rounds have you played with that new grip on there?
The new grip.
Just a 1-2 round?
No, I did 2 because we did a round with it.
Right. We had a practice round.
Yeah, we had a practice round with it. Yep, and then we did the tour.
So how's it feeling?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar to the one I have,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mine's just an XL, but it's
And I should have went with the XL, but again, that's my first time ever getting a putter regrip. But it works for me, and I like it. And I like the blade putter, the true blade putter, Phil Mickelson style blade putter. I don't think I'll go to anything different other than if I can get the Wilson 8802.
Still on the hunt.
I'm still on the hunt, and if I can find one of those, I will trade in my Tommy Armour Silver Scott for the Wilson 8802. Yeah, I will do that. So anybody out there listening that knows anyone with a Wilson 8802 that has it in the garage, let me know.
Message us on Facebook at Mulligans and Hackers Golf or on our Instagram, also Mulligans and Hackers Golf. That's where you can find our links to our podcast, our updates on any tour events. We are also now on Spotify, so click subscribe and share that podcast if you like it. We should be up on Apple Podcasts by the end of the week as well, for those of you that are Apple users, and we look forward to anybody that wants to become a new listener. So what's on the docket for you guys for the next couple of weeks? I mean, I know we don't have a tour event coming up until May 30th, so we're kind of off for May long here. Any golfing plans over the next few days?
Well, I think you and me, we have a round booked for tomorrow.
Yep.
There's still
well, Isaac, if you want to join us, go right ahead if you want to.
Yeah, I might take you up on that.
There's still some COVID restrictions going around, so we're trying to do our best to
adhere to them. Trying very hard.
Very hard. Trying very hard not to say how poorly the government's handling this, but I digress. We have a round booked for tomorrow.
Yep.
Then I think I have a round book for Thursday for me and my daughter. I took my daughter out last week. She had a blast.
First time on Cottonwood, right? Or a big course?
First time on a big course, yep.
And how'd that go?
Again, I won't say she's a natural, but she plays the game. She doesn't play the game a lot, and if she played the game more, her game would come around a lot faster because she hits her driver really well. She bogeyed the last 2 holes, legit bogeyed 8 and 9. Really good drives. Really good approach shots. The finesse part, the putter on the green is a little bit of a trouble. She just doesn't do it enough.
Yep.
But I mean, rein that in and rein in some of the lazy shots she makes, and she'll play really well. And I don't mind taking her there. And we got her on the I can't remember what it's called, but it's the Junior Canada Golf Program.
Right. Yep. And I think Cottonwood's one of the Cottonwood and maybe Redcliffe, I think, are the only two in.
So I think it was $50 to sign her up to this Canada Junior Golf Program, and at participating courses, it's $5 for them to do 18 holes.
Which is great.
What a great initiative, really! To get young kids into the game, I think that's a great.
Absolutely.
But it's not out there. Like people don't know it's there, and I don't know why they don't smoke the crap out of that.
Well, and especially now with not a lot to do, right? Because of the world we're living in right now. I mean, anything that the kid can get the kids out, especially when you're outdoors, you're being active. You're playing a sport that's challenging. That's going to challenge you, and mentally, physically, it's going to challenge your will at times. It's just a sport that can really help be a release for kids, adults
at this time. Yes.
Yeah,
and
the perfect time to get into it.
When we went there, the smile didn't leave her face literally until we were pulling out of the parking lot leaving. I mean, it was such an enjoyable 9 holes that we played. And we're going to go back again on Thursday, hopefully weather permitting, because it's supposed to be kind of crappy.
May long weekend, of course.
Of course, yeah, the weather's going to be poor. But I hope we can get up Thursday. And throughout the weekend, we're not going anywhere, so I might get around in here or there.
Nice. What about you, Isaac?
No solid firm plans yet. I was kind of also just waiting on that forecast. It's not looking great for this weekend.
Well, at least it's not calling for snow like it was yesterday for Thursday and Saturday. It's the snow is gone, and now they're just calling for rain. So that's good. I would hate to see snow.
Still 70% snow on Thursday.
Oh my goodness.
Dear. And only a high of 6.
May in Alberta, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I guess the plan is just for the next 2 weeks, anyways. Just get out to the range.
How many times have you been out to the range this year?
Quite a few. Yeah. I think about 4 times. I think.
Yeah.
So trying to get out more. Loving the range. Shout out to Cottonwood for the new mats at the range out there. Beautiful setup they got out at Cottonwood right now. So
nice,
it's been great. Doing a lot of that and hopefully getting a few rounds in between.
Are you using any tips, any apps or videos?
Nothing yet. Working on it. A good buddy of mine, shout out to Zach, was helping me with my swing, and I've been working on that. But that's been about it. Just and it got to start though. Definitely something that I want to work on this year. We were talking about goals earlier.
Rick Shields Golf. This isn't a plug for Rick Shields. We're not affiliated with him in any way, but his videos for driver setup and iron setup are pure gold. Pure gold.
Check them out for sure.
They are 2 of the best videos I've watched for getting people to set up properly to the ball, addressing the ball and your swing motion on where your feet should be, how your body's supposed to. The videos are really good, and you should check those out.
Definitely.
And we used the 18 Birdies app.
Yep.
That was an app that really, I think you introduced me to.
Yeah, I introduced you, and Darren and I kind of got into it at the same time. It's nice because you can take a front video of your swing and a side video, and it'll analyze your swing and give you kind of a practice training regimen to work on.
Yep.
With the issues in my game that have been cropping up in the last week and a half, which have kind of got me a little frustrated, to be honest. I ordered a Eyeline Golf Speed Trap 2.0, and I ordered a putting mirror to just help with my putting because I am a perfectionist.
You're more than a mirror, man.
What's that? Yeah, well, hey, my putting is totally fine. I just love to work on my putting because that's the only part of my game that seems to stick around. But no, I've been having some issues with opening my club face and really slicing the ball. So I want to get back to learning how to keep that straight, keeping that club face closed.
For a guy like you who has that reverse grip, none of us can really even remotely.
I mean,
I want any advice.
Right?
Not that we're really good at giving advice because we suck at golf anyways. But you reverse grip, so we have your front shoulder just dives into the ball and. I don't know how you do it.
It's tough because if I watch like Rick Shields or some other training videos, and then they're talking about the hands and the way the wrists go, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's about where my video ends because it doesn't pertain to me anymore. Yeah, it comes with its own challenges, but I mean that's part of instead of learning how to hit the ball properly, I'm already years into hitting it this way. So I mean, I'm not going to throw away a golf season to do that.
You can't change it now.
No.
That would you'd have to literally reinvent the entire process.
And that would take a lot of work. So I mean, I've just been I got anyways, I ordered an Eyeline Speed Trap 2.0 and a putting mirror to help with my practice putting on the greens. Been actually doing a lot of Rick Shields putting drills that he's had on there, and I've been working on my ball compression with the irons because I want to really work on that compression, really get the hands in front of the ball. coming out of there, get that nice distance going. And I probably spend just as much time at the range as anyone, maybe even more, because I like to hit a lot of balls. I have a kind of a perfectionist personality, and it really drives me crazy when I'm not good at something.
I've never noticed that ever.
So this last week I probably hit over 500 balls.
And I think so far this year I've been to the driving range twice.
Yeah, you're the kind of guy that rolls on the course and like, let's go, boys.
But I went so often last year, and it really helped improve my game. And my game is okay. Like, I'm really comfortable where it is now, but I still should go to the driving range more than I am.
Well, that's just part of getting better at the game, right? I mean, sometimes
my ball compression on the irons is really coming around.
Yep.
Like just posting your hands a
little bit in front of the ball.
Yeah, that's working really well. I've been really happy. So this past weekend when we were at Rolling Hills, I missed one fairway, and that was the second nine.
Which is ridiculous.
So I missed it to the left. I was still in great shape looking at the green, but it's the only fairway I missed with my driver the entire day.
Mr. Consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
No
right.
doubt.
So I'm about 230, 240 with the driver off the tee box. I'm going to take that all year and run with it.
Absolutely.
But it's that getting up and making sure I get the yardage for. I found with Rolling Hills the par 4 greens that are attackable. The greens were the size of a bottle cap.
They were. Yep.
Right.
You had to be accurate with them.
They're like a pancake size. They were really small, so getting there into was difficult. That's just what I found. But
yeah,
that's where my game is. Putting is hit or miss. Although my putting has been basically because I'm at 30%, I think, greens in regulation, but my putting is under 2 putts per green, so that's good.
Which is where you want to be.
Which is where you want to be, right?
Yep, absolutely. As for me, I'm I work tomorrow and Wednesday, and then I'm heading off to Calgary, visit my dad, get some golf in.
Where are you playing?
I think Friday we're gonna play the par 3 in Calgary. Just my brother and I. That's I think they call it the RGCA now or whatever it is. It's got the heated driving range and everything there. Played a couple times last year. It's got natural tee boxes, so not like our par 3 here where you got to hit off mats. So it's actually fun to play. Pretty and a lot of fun and more challenging in that way. And then Saturday we're heading out to Speargrass. To play out there. We played out there last year towards the end of the year. It was super cold when we played, but it was a fun course. It's got 6 par 5s, 6 par 4s, 6 par 3s. So
that's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is wild.
And the last 2 holes are their signature holes. They're literally cut into the side of the riverbank, and the fairways are literally sideways. So it is and narrow. So it's really tough to hit a ball up there. When we went out last year, my dad, myself, and my brother Josh went, and we got paired with this gentleman who plays there quite often. And he's like, you guys better grab just a garbage ball out of your bag when we go into 17 and 18. He's like, because there's a good chance you're going to lose it. Because you think you can drive the green because you're elevated and you're over and it looks like you can drive it. And then no matter how, like I crushed one on 17 and it was a good drive straight. And it ended up like 110 yards back. And I was like, oh, okay. Apparently it's not drivable. Not for me anyways.
So Isaac, what's your favorite course you've played?
Favorite course I've played, I've actually been fortunate to play a couple nice ones. I played McKenna Beach Golf and Country Club in Maui, actually. Would be my favorite.
Yeah, probably
way out of my realm of golf here. Let's just put that out there. I was fortunate to... I love the warm. I'm definitely a warm weather golfer.
Fair weather golfer.
Understand. Like when you guys talked about going out last weekend, I enjoyed my couch and I looked out the window and thought, "Oh boy, am I glad I'm not out there today." So that's been the favorite course I played. But favorite course in the area, I really love playing Connaught's. Connaught's a great course to play. Really, we're so fortunate to be in the area we're at with courses and
you say that I haven't played Connaught since me and my wife, when we were getting married, we did an engagement party there, and I mean that's 20 years ago. It's been 20 years since I've been there. It's in the same town as I live in, and I haven't been there for 20 years. I've never been to Desert Bloom.
No, I've never been out there either.
No,
I'm afraid of that course.
I played there. The last time I played there was a few years ago for my bachelor party, right before we officially got the knot tied, and it was cold and gross. So we got married on October 1st, and we played out there the end of September. Man, it was ugly, and I was like, I'm not a great golfer, but I was not as good as I am now back then. So it was a long 18 holes in
I'm
cold,
afraid of that course.
wet
I am terrified.
wind.
People talk about Desert Blue, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm going to go back to the Cottonwood. Yeah,
It's just a course where you have to. It makes you hit shots. Is what it is, right? So if you have fear in you, it's going to exploit it. That's what happens. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm excited for when we go to Medicine Hat Golf and Country Club on our one tour date this summer.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys in our tour group that when faced with long par fives or some long par fours that aren't drivable or aren't easily reachable in two, are going to have to dig deep in their bag to figure it out.
They've probably never made all year.
Right?
I hope we can get out, do Medicine Hat before our event day. Because it is one of my goals this year to break 100 at.
Well, and I think the way you're playing right now, it should be definitely doable. I think we can definitely make that happen at some point. One of these Sundays or a weekend where we don't have an event day, we'll have to get out there. Get a few of us out there, maybe 4 of us if COVID permits it, and get out there and play some golf. I love playing Medicine Hat Golf and Country Club. It's one of my favorite courses next to Cottonwood. I like the length because when I'm playing well, I have the length off the tee to get there and the length in my bag to make some shots.
It's just the first hole on Medicine Hat always psychs me out.
Long par 5.
Because it's a long par 5 with a little dog leg right.
And a tree right in the middle.
Tree right in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
Right down the middle at the dog leg. There's a tree in the middle of the fairway. And I get up to the tee box on that thing, and I'm like, nope. I can't do this.
Yeah, when that and then once that doubt gets into your mind,
it's there.
You're there all day. It's hard to fight it, right?
I know. But speaking of, so if we can go back to Rolling Hills again, speaking of longer holes and psyching you out, I know Chris had some trouble on a long par 5 on.
Yeah, well, that was because that was
hole number 3, correct?
Two. Hole number 2 on the second hole of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I took triple bogeys, I think, on the first 2 holes, which was just mainly because I didn't hit any balls, and for some reason I'm in a routine where I need to go to the driving range in the morning before I play. And I got in the vehicle, picked up Alvin, we went to Rolling Hills, we played some golf. There's no driving range out there. So I'm going to use that as an excuse.
And I'm the opposite. So I don't hit balls before a round. And I got out of the vehicle, I went over to the tee box, I hit my drive straight down the fairway, and I was like, okay, game on.
Mine off the tee, I topped it about 100 yards. And I'm like, wow, that's good.
Great way to start.
And then my second shot, I got up there and I grabbed my 5 hybrid, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna, just hit this up close to the green. Promptly sliced it right over top of the highway, and so that was fun.
Welcome to the show.
And then on the par 5 that Isaac was talking about, I basically played down the cornfield. Because
there's a farmer's field to the right.
There is a farmer's field. The corn was gone. It was just it was dirt. So I'm like, I hit my first ball out there. I went and found it. I tried to hit it. Stayed straight down the farmer's field. I'm like, I'm just gonna play down here, I guess. So I think I hit 3 shots down there before I finally got it over to the right side.
But again, something for us who have been playing at Cottonwood most of the year, right? It throws a wrench in your routine, right? Well, 560-yard par 5 at second hole of the day.
I double bogeyed it twice, but different times both times. First time, I crushed my drive both times down the fairway. Great. The first time I pulled out my 5-wood, I shanked the 5 on the first time. Then I got up there relatively close, got out with a double bogey and just ran to the golf cart. The second time I crushed my driver down the fairway. I pull out my 5-wood, I absolutely crush my 5-wood down the fairway, and I'm looking at a 9-iron into the green, and there's a tree covering about the right half of the green, and I'm like, just put it up to the left of the green, you're on in 3, man, this is going to be great. Well, I swing my 9-iron, and I'm like, oh, it's looking good. Oh, it catches a branch of the tree and shoots directly left, so I'm still a pitch wedge in from hitting a really good 9-iron. I was like, oh, well, there goes my chance of at least bogey in the hole. So get on, 2-putt, double bogey, get off, run to the cart. I'm done. Start the car.
Yeah, those long holes can be challenging, but that's why
it's like the par 5 at Cottonwood.
Yep.
Right. Last time we were down there, we played the practice round.
Yep.
I hit a really good drive, and if I hit a really good drive on that one, I will try to go for it in 2.
Well, yeah, because it's got the water that's about... Typically, if you hit a good drive from where you were, I think you were only 10 yards behind me, maybe, because I had a good drive on that one as well. And I think typically that's about 125, 130 yards to clear the water.
Yes.
From where we were.
Yes.
And then it's about 185, 190 yards to the green.
So I pull up my 5-wood to hit the second shot, and I duff the shit out of it. I literally, and I lose the ball, and so I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. So I took a ball out of the cart, dropped it, and hit the 5-iron again, and I absolutely crushed the 5-iron to just short left of the green.
5-wood.
Or 5-wood, sorry. And I'm like, that's the shot you just need to make from here. So if I can have a little more confidence in hitting the 5-wood, I hit really well. Except when I don't. When I don't hit that 5-wood well, it's probably about 40 yards straight right. And if I could just avoid that, and like, because I can hit that 5-wood on the range really well, and I get really good yardage out of it. So on that par 5, that club becomes very important down at Cotton.
Well, and that's the third hole on your amen corner there, where you have typically had trouble. But the last
double
few
bogey,
rounds,
double bogey.
The last few
at
rounds,
least the par 5 triple bogey maybe.
Yeah, in the last few rounds, you've been really good. You've either limited it to a bogey, typically on the par 3s, or even pars.
Well, I've had a look at the last 3 rounds down there. I've had a look twice at par on that par 5. First time I was on the green. I think I had a 4-inch putt for par. Missed it, wound up double bogeying because of the tabletop that green is, and I touched the ball, it missed the hole, and pretty much rolled off. So yeah, there was a little bit of a moment.
Yeah, there's a little bit of fun on that one
too.
Yes, yeah.
That green is very challenging on that par 5. Just is,
For sure.
and it can get away from you in a hurry on that green.
Absolutely. So we got some merch done up last time. We had talked about our merch. What do we got left for merch?
We've got 2 shirts left. 2 extra larges. That's it.
What colors?
I think it's a navy blue and a black.
Okay, so if anybody wants a navy blue and a black golf shirt, $25. You can message us on Messenger, on Facebook, or on Instagram, Mulligans and Hackers Golf. Give us a like, give us a follow. And that's where you'll find the links for our current podcast. You can find that on Spotify now, and by the end of the week, you'll find it on Apple Podcasts. Other than that, so we've touched on our tour and things like that. So let's take a brief touch, as we always do, on the recent PGA stuff. Yesterday, KH Lee wins his first PGA Tour event in 100 start. Really great to see. He went out and he had a heck of a final round, even though there was a bit of a rain delay, and managed to win by 3 strokes over Sam Burns.
I'll be honest, I did not watch a lot of golf this weekend, otherwise occupied, but it was good to see him win.
Yeah.
But the round who led after the first 2?
Sam Burns?
Sam Burns. The round Burns had on Thursday.
Friday. Yeah, he had a 10 under round. It was ridiculous.
10 under.
It was absolutely unreal. The guy had a run of, I think it was 3 under through the first 9, and then on the back 9 he had a string of four birdies in a row, and then he went par, and then I think birdie, par, birdie. It was just absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
It's unfortunate. He kind of tailed off a little bit as the weekend went. I mean, he still finished solo second, so I mean, nothing to get angry about. And he's on the right trajectory going into this coming weekend's PGA Championship.
I'll be paying a little bit more attention this weekend to the PGA Championship.
Perfect weekend to watch, really. Bad weather.
It's going to be really crappy weather.
Good time to tune it in.
And I believe it's in Maui. I do believe.
Is it?
I do believe so. Anybody stand out that you're rooting for this weekend?
Well, if Phil's there, I'm going to root for Phil for sure. Dustin Johnson. I mean, I just like watching guys play good golf.
Yeah.
So really, if somebody comes out and starts shooting really well, I'll be rooting for him because,
You just want to see him make good shots,
I just want to see him play well.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I'm going to keep my eye on Spieth. He had a really good shot. His game's kind of been rounding up. I mean, he finished, I think, 7th this past weekend. Had some really good moments, some really good shots. It seems like he's the master of the walk-off eagle. He had another one this weekend, which is just ridiculous. He's done it so many times in his career already. I'm really going to keep my eye on him. Keep an eye on John Rahm. Bryson should be interesting to keep an eye on if he can hone in his strength.
I'll be watching him because
And I mean, Rory just recently got a win, so I mean, he might be
so
fired up
good to
too.
see. I was so happy with Rory winning.
And Rory is actually leading the odds right now. 11-1 odds for Rory. If you're paying attention to the betting odds
For the PGA Championship?
for the PGA Championship, Rory McIlroy is leading the odds right now to win. So
that's cool.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, that's awesome.
That would actually be. I would root for Rory as well.
What was it? 553 days between wins for Rory. So it was nice to see Rory win. I mean, he's kind of fallen off a little bit in the last few years, as has guys like Spieth and they kind of. Everybody was hunting for Tiger there for Tiger-like numbers for a while, and you get compared at an early age on your tour to those guys, and it must not be an easy thing to follow in the footsteps.
Oh yeah, he's having a really good career.
Yeah, absolutely.
He still plays decent golf. It's not like his game has gone away from him.
No.
The thing about playing out there is if you make a mistake, the other guys around you are going to capitalize on it, and that's the difference between amateurs and professionals, right? You go out there and some weeks you shoot 5 under through 2 rounds, and guess what? You're getting cut. You didn't make the cut, boy. And that's got to feel awful because you really played well. You just didn't make the cut. Everyone else played better that weekend. So, what's on the docket for any new merch? Anybody get any new Mulligans and Hackers merch or over the last little bit?
We're going to try and do put the word out for a pre-buy. We've got a new style of shirt that we're going to try.
Yep.
So we're going to try and do a pre-buy. Message either Chris, myself, or Isaac.
Or the Mulligans and Hackers Facebook page.
Or the Mulligans and Hackers Facebook
or Instagram page.
There's some different colors. I think we'll try and post some of the pictures of the shirts and colors on Instagram and Facebook to let people see what they are. We're going to have some ladies' ones as well, because I do know there's some ladies that would like to get their hands on some.
Absolutely, we'll run the pre-buy for a couple weeks.
A couple weeks, and then we'll put it through, and maybe if this one goes okay, we'll do one more before the end of the season.
Yep.
I like the style of shirt. They're two-tone. We'll post some pictures so everybody can have a look at them, and we'll set it up from there.
Yeah, and again, $25 a shirt if anybody wants to pre-buy them, and we'll let you look at them, determine what color, what sizes you need. And then we'll make payment arrangements with you. Speaking of merch, I got another order of Vice Balls in. I
think we have the pictures of those on both Instagram and Facebook as well.
Yes, yeah, we did throw those up there. This time instead of my customary 4-leaf clover, I got Mulligans and Hackers logo on the other side, which is pretty sweet.
It's pretty slick. I like it.
And I mean, the Vice Balls are amazing. They're $16 a dozen. Or $16.99 a dozen, and then I think $5.99 a dozen to get them logoed. So I mean, really, for 5 dozen balls, I paid $190 plus shipping or something like that. So really affordable, and the balls are really durable, and I love them playing with them. They're really comparable to the TaylorMade TP5s that I like to play with.
And I think that might become more expensive if you keep playing out of the farmers' fields.
Yeah, I didn't lose any balls that way. Actually,
I played with the same ball for the entire 18 holes on this past Saturday as well. So
when you shoot an 81, you should.
Yeah, I agree. But if you could just play in the fairways more with your custom balls, that would be fantastic.
Hey, how else am I going to redistribute them?
That's true.
Free advertising.
You can put them out in the farmers' fields, and the farmer picks them up and goes, "What the heck is this?"
Right? I mean, if people are finding them around the course, it's great advertising for our Mulligans and Hackers.
There you go.
I'm thinking ahead, man.
I totally didn't know. I didn't understand your strategy, but now I get it. I get the strategy now. I'm happy with that. Okay.
All right. Is there anybody else got anything they want to chit chat about?
Just keep watching our Facebook and Instagram page as well. We're doing up a fantasy golf challenge for the U.S. Open in the next coming weeks here. So still ironing out some of the details on that, but you'll enter the challenge and enter to win some Mulligans and Hackers merch. So keep up on our Facebook and Instagram pages for that as well.
That's awesome. Something people are definitely going to want to get involved with. We'll see what kind of merch we can come up with. Maybe I'll part with some a sleeve of balls of mine or something like that, among other things that we'll throw.
If you got any left by then.
Yeah, maybe I'll put some aside just for that. And yeah, other than that, I think we're going to enjoy the 2-week break we got between tour dates and just kind of do our own thing over the long weekend and.
Hopefully get at least 2 or 3 rounds in over the next week or so.
Yeah. Next week, hopefully we can get back together and get a few rounds in and kind of get prepped for the May 30th tour date.
Yep.
And then I think we have Burstall coming up in a month.
Yes, so the middle of next month will be Burstall, and that'll be another challenging 9 holes.
Yeah, that one's going to bring some new challenges to everybody that hasn't been out there as well.
Long par 5.
Yeah, speaking of long par 5.
Long par 5. And there's 2 of them.
Yeah, so we'll have to discuss that when after we frequent their course and go take a peek out there. But other than that, I mean, you guys enjoy your evening. May your mulligans be plenty and your hacks be many, and we'll see you guys out on the golf course.
Bye.